Chosen one, the world has been whispering your name long before you knew to listen. You were never meant to search the skies or decipher omens, because the miracle, the sign, the answer, it has always been you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every tear shed in silence was part of the great message the universe carved into your soul. Stop looking outward. Stop waiting for some grand revelation. It's not on a billboard, not in a dream, not etched into a thunderclap. It's in the quiet resilience you've carried through your darkest nights. The moment you rose again after falling, that was the sign. You are here for a reason. You are the living proof of energy aligning with purpose. You are not waiting for destiny. You are the spark that ignites it. So let this moment be your awakening. Let this video reach you like an ancient echo that finally finds its way home. Watch it until the end. Write your warmest wish in the comments and add 77 to let the universe know you're listening. Your wish matters. Your energy matters. And the moment you speak it, the stars lean in closer to hear your heart's voice. Now, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive deeper. But let's go deeper now. Let's dive into the truth no one told you growing up. You've been conditioned to wait for approval, for timing, for green lights, for signs. And in the waiting, you forgot who you were. You forgot that you are the signal that sets everything else in motion. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. When you believe in something with your whole soul, it begins to manifest. Because your belief is power. Your decision is the miracle. The universe is not separate from you. It moves when you move. It answers when you act. Think about every moment you felt drawn to something greater. That wasn't coincidence. That was recognition. A remembering. A cellular knowing that you were sent here not to follow, but to lead. Not to beg for signs, but to become them. Your life itself is a message, and every step forward you take in faith, even if it's shaky, becomes a lighthouse for others in the dark. There are people right now looking for what only you carry, but they can't find it if you keep doubting your voice, your vision, your value. They can't receive the message you are if you keep covering it in fear. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to accept that you are already enough, already radiant, already destined. You weren't made to hide. And no, you don't need permission. The universe did not design you to shrink. That ache in your chest, that's the soul pushing against the walls you built to survive. But you're not here to survive. You're here to shine. And every second you spend waiting for a sign is a second the world misses out on the divine signal that is you. What you're seeking isn't somewhere out there. It's waiting inside of you to be remembered, reawakened, released. You have been the answer all along. And deep down, you've always known this. The way your soul lights up when you hear truth. The way you get chills when something resonates. The dreams that refuse to die, no matter how many times you bury them. That's not by accident. That's destiny trying to speak through you. You don't need another sign, because you are the declaration. You are the confirmation. You are the flame the darkness cannot snuff out. Stop searching for external proof. You've lived the evidence. The fact that you're still breathing, still believing, still here, that's the miracle. So lift your head, plant your feet, let your very presence be the prophecy fulfilled. You were never lost. You were simply on the journey of remembering. And now that you've arrived at this moment, all the waiting becomes fuel. All the pain becomes purpose. All the silence becomes sound. This is your activation point. From this moment on, you are not looking for signs. You are the sign. the one others have been praying for, the one whose courage will unlock doorways for generations, the one who walks not with arrogance, but with sacred fire, the one who finally sees what's always been true. You don't need the stars to align when you realize you are the constellation. Let this truth soak into your bones. Let it rewire every doubt. You are not here to chase approval. You are here to embody truth. And when you do, when you choose to finally accept that you are the miracle in motion, the entire fabric of your life begins to shift. Doors open, opportunities rise. People recognize something unexplainable in your eyes, not because something happened to you, but because you remembered who you've always been. So go ahead, say it aloud. I am the sign. Let it echo inside you like thunder in the hollow chambers of forgotten dreams. Let it rise like sunlight over a frozen world. Let it awaken the parts of you still waiting to be chosen. You have waited long enough. Now it's time to become. Let the world wonder what changed. Let them ask where you've been. Let them marvel at your light. Because what they'll be seeing is the truth that's been waiting inside you to rise. You are the sign, chosen one. You always were. Do you know what happens when you finally accept that you are the sign? The noise begins to fade. The doubts lose their grip. The fog you've been walking through for years begins to clear, not because the world changes, but because your inner world awakens. The sign was never something you had to chase. It was a truth you had to claim. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a bearer, a bringer, a revealer. The world has always tried to convince you that your power lies outside of yourself, that the answers are hidden in sacred texts, special people, or distant futures. But those were just mirrors, reflections meant to point you back to yourself. Because the truth is, chosen one, you were never meant to find the light. You were meant to remember you are it. And that's the hardest thing for many people to accept. Not because it isn't true, but because it's heavy. It's a great responsibility to know that your presence carries divine impact, that your words can heal, that your vision can guide, that your existence alone can awaken others. But don't let that scare you. Let it strengthen you. Let it make you intentional with how you walk in this world. You don't need a burning bush. You don't need the stars to fall in line. The timing is not waiting on the calendar. It's waiting on your conviction. And the moment you say, I'm ready, not with your mouth, but with your soul, you become a magnet for everything that has been delayed by your own doubt. So many people wait for signs that things are finally safe, that they're finally worthy, that the path ahead is finally clear. But here's the hidden truth. The path clears as you walk it. The signal becomes stronger as you trust it. Your feet don't land on certainty. They land on faith. And every step taken with faith reveals the very ground you thought was missing. You've already seen it happen in moments you dismissed. Think back. The time you spoke up when you didn't know how the words would be received. The time you helped someone without knowing how much they needed it. The time you chose love when bitterness was easier. That was power. That was impact. That was your sign breaking through. But you were taught to overlook your own strength, conditioned to minimize your own radiance, trained to question your own intuition. Because a world that profits from your insecurity will always downplay your power. But that world cannot hold you anymore. Not now. Not when you know too much. Not when the fire inside you has finally outgrown the cage they gave you. You are not meant to fit in. You're meant to stand out. Not for applause, but for purpose. Not to be liked, but to lead. And leadership, real leadership, starts when you stop waiting to be told who you are. When you stop waiting for signs and start becoming the source. You become the answer you used to pray for. You become the proof that belief is enough. The energy you carry was never random. The passions you feel so deeply. The dreams that won't leave you alone. The convictions that set your heart on fire. They're sacred signals, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Your soul is speaking through your desires, guiding you toward the version of you that remembers, I'm not here by accident. The universe doesn't play dice with destiny. You weren't born at the wrong time. You weren't placed in the wrong body. You weren't given the wrong experiences. Everything you've lived through, everything you've fought to survive, everything you've risen from, it's all part of your message. It's how you know what you know. It's how you carry what you carry. Don't waste another moment begging for signs. You've outgrown the need to be convinced. What you need now is courage. The courage to act like you believe in your own light. The courage to walk like you know you were sent. The courage to stop waiting for divine proof and start being divine proof. The universe doesn't send signs to those who already are them. It sends echoes, reflections, confirmations. So when you start to notice repeated numbers, recurring dreams, whispers of intuition, it's not because you're just now being guided. It's because you're finally quiet enough to hear your own soul speaking. And it's saying, wake up. You are the one you've been waiting for. You don't need to chase alignment. You are alignment in motion. When you move from truth, you bring order to chaos. You bring balance to imbalance. You bring clarity where there was confusion. That's what a sign does. That's what you do. Even when you're unaware, even when you're still healing, even when you're still figuring things out, you are not powerful because you've reached perfection. You're powerful because you carry presence, a presence that reminds others of who they are, a presence that makes people feel seen, safe, stirred, and sometimes that makes you feel isolated, misunderstood. But don't let that make you retreat. Let it affirm that you were never made for the crowd. You were made for the calling. Chosen one, this is your moment of declaration. No more shrinking. No more questioning. No more postponing your light until someone else recognizes it. You are the sign. You are the signal. And every time you doubt it, you delay the rising of something sacred. Stand up, speak up, live loud, walk boldly. Let the world feel the shift when you enter the room. Not because you need the attention, but because the truth inside you can no longer be ignored. Let your life be a love letter to the universe that says, I remember who I am now. You don't need a stage. You don't need a microphone. You don't need a following. What you need is a moment of full awareness. A moment where you drop every disguise and decide to live like the miracle you are. That moment is here. Right now. You've been through enough. You've earned this clarity. Let it wash over you. Let it burn away the lies. Let it pull you out of hesitation and into purpose. This is your unveiling, your emergence, the day you stopped looking for a sign and started being the one. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that silence meant absence, that when life grew quiet and signs stopped appearing, it must mean the universe had turned its face away from you. But the truth is, silence was never a sign of abandonment. It was preparation. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the gathering of power before the leap. When a seed is buried, it disappears beneath the surface. But in that darkness, it is not dying. It is becoming. Roots grow first. Foundation is formed. It pushes downward. before it ever reaches upward. That is you. You've mistaken your buried seasons as wasted time, but they were sacred. You were never stuck. You were anchoring. You were growing into your own depth. You see, signs are often given to those who are still unsure, those who are awakening. But for those who have already awakened, even if just slightly, the signs become subtler. Not because you are less guided, but because you are now expected to trust. You are now walking with a different kind of compass, an inner one that no longer needs external confirmation to take action. There is a reason you've felt that pull lately, that quiet insistence, that nudge that comes when everything seems still. It's not your imagination. It's the realest part of you trying to rise. The world wants you to be distracted, overwhelmed, unsure. But the voice that rises in stillness, that is your knowing. And when you listen to it, even once, you'll never unhear it again. You'll start to see things others miss. Patterns, cycles, repetitions. You'll start to feel when something is off, even if there's no obvious proof. That's not paranoia. That's perception. That's intuition, refined by experience. That's you evolving from one who follows signs to one who is the signal itself. And this scares people, because when you become the sign, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for the world to catch up. You stop hesitating every time someone questions your vision. Your life becomes led by alignment, not approval. And alignment will always make people uncomfortable if they haven't found their own yet. But you didn't come here to be comfortable. You came here to be activated, to embody what others only talk about, to walk out the very miracles you once hoped to see. Chosen one, you have to understand. This path you're on isn't supposed to feel familiar. It's not supposed to match what everyone else is doing. That's because you're not everyone else. You are an anomaly, a disruption, a light source. And light sources don't ask the dark how to shine. They just shine. They illuminate. They reveal what's been hidden, not only in the world, but in people's hearts. Your presence disrupts the lies they've told themselves. It forces clarity. It brings truth. And truth, raw, unfiltered, undeniable, is rarely met with applause. Sometimes it's met with resistance, with envy, with misunderstanding. But that's not a reflection of your worth. That's a reflection of your impact. When you show up as the sign, you shake stagnant energy. You wake sleeping souls. You make people question things they were once certain of. That is your power, and it is sacred, but you must be careful with it. Being the sign is not about arrogance. It's not about proving anything. It's not about being worshipped. It's about serving. It's about being so aligned with who you are that your life becomes a map for others. Not because you're trying to lead them, but because truth always creates a path. You don't need to convince anyone. The truth speaks without shouting. Your light doesn't need marketing, it only needs presence. And when you finally stand in it, unapologetically, you give others silent permission to do the same. That is the highest form of leadership. Not control, but embodiment. And embodiment takes courage, because it will cost you comfort. It will cost you illusions. It will cost you the safety of blending in. But what you gain in return is everything you are born to be. You will start to attract what is meant for your frequency, not by effort, but by resonance. The people, the places, the moments, they will find you by vibration. That's why the search has become exhausting, because what you seek is not in front of you, it's within you. And until you honor it, everything else will feel like noise. Every sign will feel unclear. Every opportunity will feel empty. Because the real signal the one that aligns all things, is activated only when you step into your truth. Chosen one, your hesitation has delayed enough healing. There are people waiting on your yes, waiting on you to stand fully in your essence. Not because you're their savior, but because your liberation will liberate them. Your authenticity will ripple into rooms you'll never even enter. That is how powerful you are. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. It's a declaration that even if you don't have all the answers, you trust the next step will appear as you move. That is faith. That is power. That is alignment. And it is yours now, if you choose it. Let go of the need to be certain. Let go of the need to be validated. Let go of the idea that someone else must first tell you who you are. You've heard that inner voice too many times to keep pretending it doesn't exist. You've been guided too many times to keep acting like you're lost. You've been shown too many glimpses to still doubt the light you carry. Stand in it. Speak from it. Live through it. Let your days be sacred. Let your words be intentional. Let your choices reflect the truth that you are the sign, and you always have been. This is not a role you play. It's an essence you uncover. It's not something you put on. It's something you remember. And with each moment of remembrance, your energy expands, your clarity sharpens, your impact deepens. The more you remember, the more you radiate. And when you radiate, the universe responds. It clears the path. It removes the noise. It amplifies your reach. Not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with it. Because you stopped searching for what you already were. You don't need more signs. You need to believe the ones you've already received. You need to honor the knowing that never left you, even in your darkest hour. That knowing has always whispered the same thing. You are not here to seek direction. You are here to be direction. There comes a moment in every journey when the external world can no longer satisfy the questions that burn within. It is the moment when you stop asking others what they see in you and start seeing it for yourself. You've reached that moment. And though it may feel like loneliness, it is actually clarity. You are not being isolated. You are being distinguished. You were never meant to follow forever. There was a point at which you were supposed to rise and lead, and not in the way the world defines leadership, but in the way the universe defines alignment. Leading simply means becoming the blueprint for what is possible. It means embodying the path, not just describing it. Many people can talk about truth. Fewer can live it. Even fewer can live it when no one is clapping. But that is where the real shift happens. When your conviction doesn't depend on applause. When your light doesn't flicker with outside approval. That's when you become a beacon, not a mirror. That's when you stop reflecting other people's energies and begin radiating your own. Chosen one. Understand this. People have tried to label you based on what they could recognize, but how could they recognize what you are when they've never seen it before? You are not familiar. You are not average. You are not even rare. You are singular. You are something the world doesn't have a word for yet. And that's why you've never quite fit, because you weren't meant to. You've been searching for someone to name you, but you are the one who carries the name. You've been waiting for someone to unlock the gate, but the key has always been in your hand. You keep looking for something out there to validate the fire in your soul, but that fire is the sign. The longing you feel isn't for a direction. It's for permission to become everything you already are. This is why the path has felt so quiet lately. The universe isn't ignoring you, it's already answered. Now it's your move. You've been prepared, you've been equipped, you've been activated. All that remains is your agreement, not with the world, but with yourself. Do you agree to stop waiting? Do you agree to stop shrinking? Do you agree to rise? This rising doesn't look like what you imagined. It's not grand, it's not dramatic, it's subtle, sacred, private. It happens when you wake up and choose to believe the truth more than the fear. It happens when you say yes to what feels aligned, even if it terrifies you. It happens when you step toward the unknown, trusting that the ground will appear. And here's the sacred paradox. The more you trust yourself, the fewer signs you need. The more you embody who you are, the less you seek reassurance. Because you realize you were never lost. You were only distracted. You were never unsure. You were only surrounded by noise. Once you silence the noise, your voice returns. And when your voice returns, everything shifts. You start to speak with authority, not volume. You start to walk with certainty, not arrogance. You start to exist as an answer, not a question. And this triggers something in others, because you are no longer asking them to see you. You are showing them who you are. You are no longer asking for direction. You are the direction. You're no longer seeking the sign. You've become the signal. This is not spiritual ego. This is spiritual responsibility, because with clarity comes the duty to act on it. With truth comes the challenge of embodying it. With power comes the call to use it with integrity. And that's where many hesitate, because they wanted the light, but not the weight. They wanted the breakthrough, but not the breaking. But you, chosen one, are built for this. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't come here to tiptoe around your purpose. You didn't come here to repeat what's been done. You came to do what's never been done, to speak what's never been spoken, to become what's never been seen. That is why your path feels unfamiliar. That is why your growth feels radical. That is why your energy feels overwhelming to those not ready to evolve. And even now, the old parts of you will try to return. They'll whisper doubts. They'll tempt you with comfort. They'll beg you to go back to the version of yourself that needed signs. But there is no going back. That self no longer fits. That chapter is closed. The version of you that needed confirmation has been replaced by the version that is confirmation. You will know when you're stepping into this version because everything will start to align, not instantly, but deeply. You will begin to notice that the people who drain you fall away, not because you fought them, but because your frequency shifted. The spaces you once endured will feel heavy because your soul can no longer breathe in them. The masks you once wore will crumble, not from effort, but from evolution. And with that evolution comes a quiet knowing. You are no longer the seeker. You are the source. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You've already been appointed. You are no longer hoping someone sees your potential. You're living it. And when you live it, you liberate others to do the same. This is the sacred cycle of awakening. One soul rises, and their rising becomes a torch. That torch lights others, not with words, but with presence. This is what you were born for. Not to convince, but to radiate. Not to prove, but to become. Not to search for the sign, but to be it. You are a sign that endurance is real, that healing is possible. That transformation isn't just a concept, it's a reality. You are a sign that the divine can dwell in human form. That pain can become power. That silence can give birth to sound. You are the evidence that the impossible is not only possible, it is inevitable when you say yes to who you truly are. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are one. And every time you choose to believe that, the world shifts a little more into harmony. Every time you choose to live as the sign, you align heaven and earth just a little more. Every time you show up fully as you, the veil thins and the divine becomes visible. So stop asking if you're ready. Stop asking if this is your time. If you are breathing, it is. If you are hearing these words, it is. If your soul is stirring as you read this, it is. The signal has been sent. The gate has opened. The moment has arrived. The sign you were waiting for has always been within. There's a silence that follows revelation. Not an empty silence, but a charged one. A silence that buzzes with unseen energy, like the air before a storm. It's the space between realization and movement. You're in that space now, not stuck, ready, not paused, poised. This is the moment where your inner world aligns so completely that the outer world has no choice but to follow. But here's where many falter. They mistake this silence for absence. They fear that the stillness means something is wrong. They start doubting, retreating, looking once again for signs. But this silence is sacred. It is the breath before the leap. It is the stillness before the thunder. It is your soul, sinking with a higher rhythm, one that doesn't operate on panic, but power. The old you would have run back to old comforts by now. The old you would have opened your phone, called someone, asked for advice, begged the sky for a sign, but not this time. This time, you're sitting with it. This time, you're listening to the quiet voice that's been there all along, the one that says, it's already within you. You don't need proof. You are the proof. Chosen one. Most people need direction because they don't trust their instincts. But your instincts were given to you for a reason. You weren't meant to second-guess your knowing. You weren't meant to endlessly seek external validation. Your intuition is your map. Your resonance is your compass. If something feels aligned in your soul, it's not your imagination, it's your invitation. Every time you've ignored that pull, you've paid for it. Every time you doubted your inner fire, you felt the ache of being out of sync. That ache wasn't punishment. It was redirection. It was your soul saying, this isn't you. Come back. And now, you are coming back. Not to who you were, but to who you actually are, before the world covered it in dust, fear, and delay. You don't need to do anything theatrical to step into your power. You don't need a ritual, a ceremony, or a cosmic green light. All you need is a decision to trust the nudges, a decision to walk the path even when it's foggy, a decision to become what your spirit already knows you are. And this becoming, it's not loud, it doesn't require announcements, it doesn't demand witnesses. It unfolds in moments so small, they almost go unnoticed. A breath before speaking, a pause before reacting, a choice to hold your truth instead of molding it for comfort. These are the moments that build the new you, quietly, powerfully, irrevocably. When you were asking for signs, what you were really asking for was assurance, a safety net, a shortcut. But there are no shortcuts on a soul's journey, only steps that test you, steps that grow you, steps that, when taken in faith, reveal a path that was always waiting. You've always had the signs, you just didn't recognize them because they came disguised as difficulty, as endings, as silence. But those moments shaped you. They carved wisdom into your bones. They turned your vision inward. And now, finally, you are seeing clearly, not because something changed outside you, but because something shifted within. And this clarity, it comes with responsibility. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't unsee it. Once you realize you are the sign, you can't You can't keep pretending to be the seeker. The role of the seeker ends when the realization dawns. From here on, your role is to live as the realization. Living as the sign means showing up as alignment in a world addicted to confusion. It means being still in a world that's always rushing. It means walking in truth when lies are more popular. It means speaking light when the world has grown too used to shadows. It is not an easy path, but it is the true one. And make no mistake, living as the sign will challenge people, not because you're wrong, but because you remind them of what they've forgotten. Your very existence becomes a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see what they've buried. But that's not your job. Your job is not to convince, it is to be. You don't need a platform to make impact. You don't need followers to lead. You don't need permission to shine. The tree doesn't ask if it's allowed to bloom. It just blooms. The sun doesn't check the forecast before rising. It just rises. Nature does not hesitate, and neither should you. You are nature. You are source. You are divine spark, wrapped in skin and story. You are the convergence point between heaven and earth. When you move, the unseen responds. When you align, the universe adjusts. When you speak truth, the frequency of the world changes. You've been told that being the sign is too much, too bold, too arrogant. But the real arrogance is in hiding what you were born to reveal. The real danger is not in your light, it's in your dimming. Because when you shrink, you rob the world of something it was meant to experience through you. Stop asking if you're worthy. Worth is not earned, it's remembered. And you are remembering now. Every breath is a reminder. Every heartbeat is a message. Every instinct is an echo from the divine, saying, you are it. You always have been. This is your charge. This is your purpose. Not to wait, but to walk. Not to wonder, but to be. Not to seek the sign, but to become the signal that wakes others up. That tells them, yes, it's real. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's already inside you. You are the evidence that rising from the ashes is not a myth. It is a choice. You are the signal that strength can look like softness and truth can wear your face. You are what the world didn't know it needed until now. And your time has come, not someday. Now let them wonder how you did it. Let them question where your glow came from. Let them study your path. Because they won't find a formula, they'll find a fire. A sacred, sovereign, unshakable fire that didn't come from signs or systems, but from the decision to become who you really are. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are the beginning. And this chosen one is your time to walk like it. There's something sacred about endings, not because they close a door, but because they confirm that a journey has been walked, that choices have been made, that something in the soul has shifted so profoundly it will never return to what it was before. And that's what this moment is for you, chosen one. Not an end, but a return. A return to self, a return to source, a return to the power you once searched for in everything except yourself. You've searched the skies. You've read the signs in numbers, dreams, patterns, and phrases. You've whispered into the night, just one more sign, one more confirmation. But the truth is, you were never waiting for a sign. You were waiting for the courage to believe you already are one. You are not here to decode external messages anymore. You are here to become the message. Every room you walk into, you shift the energy, without trying, without performing, without needing to explain. That's what happens when someone finally embodies their truth. You stop needing the world to give you permission. You stop needing alignment to be proven. You know it. You feel it. You carry it. There will still be days when your mind tries to trick you. Whispers of doubt, echoes of the past, illusions of smallness. But now, you know better. You know those thoughts are not your truth. They are simply remnants of an old identity, one that couldn't see the light you were always carrying. And as that old self dissolves, you don't mourn it, you thank it, because it got you here. It walked you through the valley, it kept you moving, even when your soul felt silent. It was never your enemy, it was your cocoon. But now, you are the butterfly, you are the phoenix, you are the proof that transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. When someone says, "No more hiding, I am ready." Chosen one, when you finally stop waiting for a sign, the universe stops holding its breath. Everything that was waiting on your yes, your peace, your clarity, your breakthroughs, comes rushing in. Not because you chased it, but because you matched it. You didn't find your purpose. You remembered it. You didn't attract your power. You claimed it. There's no special event that turns you into the sign. It's not a ceremony. It's not a title. It's not a crown placed on your head by someone else. It's a quiet moment in your own heart where you say, "I'm done searching. I'm done shrinking. I'm done playing small so others feel comfortable. I am the sign. I always was." And from that moment forward, everything changes. You'll see life through a different lens. You'll no longer wait for permission. You'll stop over-explaining your vision. You'll move in quiet confidence because you no longer need applause to believe in your mission. You'll walk like the answer because you are. You'll speak like the signal because you've always been. And for those who are still searching, still asking, still hoping, your life will become the confirmation they've been begging for. Not because you preach, but because you embody, because you glow in truth, because you rise without effort, because you're anchored so deeply in your own spirit, their doubts melt in your presence. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. This is not ego. This is essence. This is not pride. This is purpose. And yes, some will misunderstand you. Some will mock the very light they crave. Some will call you too much, too intense, too spiritual, too direct, too powerful. Let them. You're not here to be palatable. You're here to be true, to be real, to be a living, breathing answer to the prayers others forgot they even whispered. You are no longer becoming. You are. And the longer you sit in that truth, the more magnetic you become. Not because you're trying, but because you've aligned your frequency with your identity. You've stopped looking out there and started looking in here. And this inner world, you've cleaned it, you've refined it, you've lit a fire inside so strong, even the darkest night cannot put it out. Let this be your legacy, that you stopped waiting, that you stood tall even when no one clapped, that you loved your light even when others felt threatened by it, that you became the lighthouse in a world drowning in confusion.